Running a business with your partner can feel harder than the business itself. The long hours, the non-stop pressure, and the feeling that every dinner has somehow turned into a board meeting. Do personal conversation turn into strategy meeting? Do you clash over trying new ideas versus sticking with tradition? Do weekends feel just like another workday? Do you feel like no matter how many hands you bring in, you and your partner are still exhausted? The truth is, most small businesses don't fail because of the products. They struggle because of people, exhaustion, arguments, and buried lies between work and home. Welcome to my small business series. Today, I want to share the story of Steve and Liz, a couple running a cafe in an office block. Their story will feel familiar to many of you, and through it, we will explore 4 practical lessons you can take away, lessons to help you cut down stress, make teamwork smoother, and build simple systems that stop your business from running your life. In the UK, there are about 5.5 million private sector businesses, and over 99% of them are small. But not all small businesses are the same. Here's the difference. According to the UK government website, small businesses will be small if it has any of the following: a turnover of 50 million or less, 7.5 million or less on its balance sheet, or 50 employees or less. Micro businesses are the tiniest end of the scale, fewer than 10 employees, often about 1 million a year or less. For example, think about cafes, corner shops, or family-run trades. They are the businesses where every hand matters, and often the whole family is involved. I first met Liz on a flight from Heathrow to Los Angeles. She was heading to her niece's wedding, but Steve stayed behind to run the cafe. As we chatted somehow over the Atlantic, the conversation turned into family, children, and work. Liz told me about the cafe and some of the struggles they faced. Months later, she reached out to me and asked if I could help. That's where the journey began. Lesson 1, vision matters. 10 years ago, Steve opened the cafe with nothing but his cooking skills and a dream. He wanted office workers to enjoy a good coffee at the proper breakfast served with a smile before their busy day. Up at 5 a.m., doors open at 7, closed at 3:30. But that never meant the work was done. Behind the scenes, there were suppliers to chase, catching up to finish, and prep for the next day. The days stretched late into the night, only to start all over again at dawn. Steve poured everything he had into it. Liz joined him later, but soon after she was pregnant with their second son. They hired their first staff member to cover the front. It was meant to lighten the load, but the cracks were already there. When I asked Steve about his vision, his answer was simple: I just wanted the cafe to survive. But the survival alone isn't enough. If the only goal is survival, you will always feel like you are drowning. Takeaway: every business, even the smallest cafe, needs a vision beyond survival. It doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be clear. Lesson 2, balance tradition with the change. The pandemic hit them hard. They survived, but when the cafe reopened, the world around them had changed. More cafes appeared nearby with modern menus and Instagram feeds that drew the younger crowds. Liz noticed the competition. She suggested trying new things. Their older son, now in college, pushed them to post on social media. But Steve resisted. We just need to keep things the way they are. Liz pushed back. We need to change if we want new customers. And their son felt stuck, torn between helping their parents and chasing his own desired career. This is the pain mainly family businesses face. Tradition versus change. It's not really about coffee or menus. It's about recognition, respect, and letting each voice matter. Together, we have worked out a balance. Steve kept his signature breakfast dishes. Liz added lighter, modern options. Their son helped design posts for social media. Customers had more choices, and so did the family. Takeaway: balance your tradition with the small steps of change. Honor the roots, but leave room for growth. If you are a small business owner or entrepreneur using YouTube to promote your products or grow your business, you may want to watch my video here. I share how I use a thumbnail generator to make my thumbnails simple and effective. Lesson 3: Systems and support. But balance on paper isn't enough. In reality, they were still exhausted. Liz covered with stuff called in sick. Steve buried himself in the kitchen. Their son got stuck with bookkeeping and ordering supplies, instead of pursue his own work. And at home, Liz was still doing school runs, tidying up, and keeping the family going. Here's the trap. Many micro businesses think HR is just for big firms. Writing clear roles, using simple systems, or even outsourcing small tasks feels like overkill. But it isn't. We identified their gaps. Instead of waiting for the next crisis, they agreed on clearer roles. Liz handled the staff rotas. Steve focused on the kitchen. Their son wasn't the backup admin anymore. They outsourced bookkeeping for a freelancer who came in once a week. We also talk about recruiting an apprentice from a local hospitality and catering course. Apprenticeships in the UK are open to micro businesses too, and the government helps cover some training costs. It gave them space to train someone new without breaking the budget. Takeaway: even micro businesses need clarity and assistance. Written rules, simple outsourcing, and a smart use of apprenticeships can fill your time and energy. If you find these kind of people-focused tips useful for your own business, I also share extra advice in my free regular newsletter from my website. You will find the link in the description. Lesson 4: Boundaries at home. But the hardest part wasn't staffing, it was home. Liz admitted, we don't really have weekends. Even Sunday feels like prep for Monday. The kids hate it. This is something we've probably seen on TV too, whether it's Alex Police's The Hotel Inspector or Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares. The pattern looks the same. Couples arguing about suppliers at midnight, costs at breakfast, and a rota on the anniversary. Steve and Liz were no exception. The cafe shut its doors at 3:30, but with the cleaning, catching up, and stock taking, it was often 5-6 p.m. before they left. Then came the traffic, the rush to get home, yet mentally they never closed. It felt like being stuck on a hamster wheel, running every day but never moving forward. So we set a simple rule: 2 family meals a week with no business talk. At first, it felt impossible, but slowly it gave them back their partnership, not just as business partners, but as a couple and a family. Takeaway: boundaries protect both your business and your family. Without them, the business will consume everything. So let's pause and check in. First, survival isn't a vision. Define what you are really working towards. Second, balance tradition with the change. Keep your roots but leave room to grow. Third, even the smallest cafe needs a system, clarity, and sometimes outside help. And fourth, boundaries at home are just as important as decisions in the business. Steve and Liz's story isn't unique. Many of you watching will see yourself in them. The long hours, the constant pressure, the blurred lines between family and work. But with a clear vision, balanced change, simple systems, and healthy boundaries, a micro business doesn't just survive, it gives you back the life you wanted when you started it. Thank you for watching. See you next time.